Good afternoon. Welcome to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. I'm Al Naipo, the Chief Administrative Officer for the Coliseum Commission, which is comprised of members representing the City of Los Angeles, the County of Los Angeles, and the State of California, and we are tasked with overseeing this iconic facility here before you today. Please welcome to the podium the President of the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Commission, Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn.
Thank you, and welcome to the wind tunnel at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Welcome, everybody. Today is such a special day for all of us, but particularly for the Coliseum, because today we are inducting the great Mayor Tom Bradley to our Court of Honor. You all know Mayor Bradley served Los Angeles admirably for 53 years. He was an officer in LAPD. He was a member of the City Council, and he had unmatched 5 terms. That's 20 years as the mayor of Los Angeles. And others will say great things about him, but I fear that any attempt to list all that he has accomplished for our city and for its residents would undoubtedly fall short. But during his 20 years in office as mayor, this Coliseum hosted some of the greatest events in the stadium's history. Pope John Paul II's papal mass to a crowd of 103,000 people were here in 1987. And who can forget Nelson Mandela's anti-apartheid rally in 1990, just months after he was released from prison. And as we prepare to host the 2028 Olympic Games here at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, who better to recognize than the man who ushered in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics and put us on our beloved Coliseum on the world stage. You know, if we remember too, because of the mayor, our Olympics were smooth, they were lucrative, and they were miraculously traffic-free. And he should get the bulk of credit for all 3 of those things. You know, Mayor Bradley really was the heart and soul of this city for so long, and it's so wonderful to have this opportunity to recognize his accomplishments and honor his memory. And I'm so glad his family is here with us today. That's going to make this ceremony so special. I want to thank my dear friend, Councilmember Tom LaBonge, who has been the champion of this effort. He's been a constant cheerleader. That's true. Yeah, that's right. The Dodgers played their first season here in 1958, right? The World Series. That's right. Tom has been such a constant cheerleader for our city and such a historian for the city of Los Angeles. And thank you for working so hard to make today happen. And now I want to introduce my good friend and the man who sponsored this induction on our commission, the great supervisor of the great 2nd District, Supervisor Mark Ridley-Thomas.
Well, thank you very much, Madam President. Let's give Janice Hahn another round of applause, the President of the Coliseum Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very delighted to be here. This is a special occasion for one who I referred to as the tall man. Throughout City Hall, he took on that image both literally and figuratively. The facts speak for themselves. Supervisor Hahn has already given much of that. I simply want to say that Mayor Tom Bradley's plaque is right at home in this court of honor, alongside some of the greatest athletes and individuals who contributed to the success of this historic venue. I do say he's right at home in this court of honor. He's right at home in this court of honor. Why? Often he was referred to as the Honorable Tom Bradley. I often referred to him as the Venerable Tom Bradley. Los Angeles owes a debt of gratitude to Mayor Bradley for his enduring legacy, not only of what he accomplished here, but for the entire city of Los Angeles during his 2-decade run as mayor of Los Angeles. He'd like to say, and I quote, "Los Angeles is the city of hope and opportunity, and I'm a living example of that," end quote. And if he were here today, I would say to him, and I'll say to his family, in his obvious absence, that if it were not for Tom Bradley, I would not be here. This was a most, and I say that from a perspective of respect, but I also say it from the perspective of reading the early returns in June of 1991 when I first was elected to the Los Angeles City Council. Had it not been for the tall man's endorsement, Tom, those 500 votes by which I won might have evaporated. So why don't you give Tom Bradley another round of applause for the value. The tall man had coattails is how we describe it. So we appreciate his faith. We appreciate his dedication, and certainly we appreciate his vision. Well before many were speaking the language of public transportation in a regional context, there stood Tom Bradley, arguing for making Los Angeles all that it could be by causing it to have a first-class transportation system. And look at us now. We're well on our way. Supervisor Hahn and I just returned from the MTA board, and we are planning great things. And the people of this region have saluted us with our ballot measures, but anybody who thinks about the dedication of the Crenshaw line as it is coming forward, or to think about the memory of Tom Bradley, who's fought day in and day out to make sure that we had public transportation to our international airport. And it was Tom Bradley, not Mark Ridley-Thomas. And so I want to say now and forevermore to those who enter this Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, we will remember and recognize Mayor Tom Bradley for all his achievements, all of his contributions, all of the things that he deposited into the spirit and the civic consciousness of Los Angeles itself. May we ever remember the tall man for what he did for us. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Supervisor. I want to take this time to quickly just acknowledge some of our guests here, and I'll do so, first of all, with the rest of our Coliseum Commission. If you'd please stand, Mark Polito and Roz Wyman, please. Yes. And also Nina de France, I guess you are here? Yes, please stand. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I'll also point out that I have another part of my speech is that one of the last folks actually inducted into the Court of Honor, Anita de France, on the part of her Olympic rowing and also for involvement with the Olympics. Thank you. And also want to acknowledge a few folks here. I may miss a few, and I apologize for that. The Honorable Senator Diane Watson with us here today. And of course, before Mayor Bradley was in the office there at City Hall, he was out there protecting and serving the city of Los Angeles. And we are very proud to have a Los Angeles Police Department contingent here today. And I'm sure that's going to bring a smile to his face as well. The LAPD, ladies and gentlemen. We also have our Exposition Park stakeholders here from the various entities of the California African American Museum, from the California Science Center, from the Natural History Museum and the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, coming soon right behind the Coliseum here. A round of applause for them, please. And also the new Los Angeles Football Club over here to our right. And of course, when we talk about legends like Mayor Tom Bradley, we also have the legends of Pink's Hot Dogs, and we have with us here today Beverly Pink Wolf. Thank you very much for agreeing to cater this event. Now, for those of us fortunate enough to be here in Los Angeles in the summer of '84, many can still vividly recall the opening and closing ceremonies, along with the competition at the various venues that occurred in and around town. And of course, right here at the Coliseum, we remember when Joan Benoit came running right through the tunnel there among the cheers and crowds and swept to victory, such an enduring sight. And her Court of Honor plaque is right down the way here, just a few columns away. A lot of history associated here. And here we are here today, perhaps one of the most notable achievements of that '84 Olympics. It continues to reap just huge benefits. More on that now. Please welcome the chair of the LA '84 Foundation, Deborah Duncan.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here today to honor this great man. I was a staff member, along with Anita France, for the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee back in 1982 through the '84 Games, working as the first employee in the ticket office. We all worked for Peter Uberoth, our president. Paul Ziffrin was our board chair, and Harry Usher was our general manager. We affectionately called them Peter, Paul, and Harry. After the singing group, of course, Peter, Paul, and Mary, who, if you remember, sang Puff the Magic Dragon. And we knew we were going to need some magic to pull the games off. And our magic came from our association with the great mayor. He was our inside man, Tom Bradley. He wasn't officially on our staff, but he was one of us. We were all pulling in the same direction. Mayor Bradley meant so much to Los Angeles and to the Olympic movement. Without his unwavering support, there would not have been a 1984 Olympic Games, and LA would not be the Olympic city. I spoke with Peter Uberoth this morning, who sends his deep regrets that he could not be here today to honor his good friend. He tells me a story when he and the mayor traveled to Washington, D.C. to speak with the then president back in 1980 in their attempt to stop the boycott of the Olympic Games to be held in Moscow that year. They spoke how the boycott would only hurt people and athletes. Unfortunately, as we all know, their pleas fell on deaf ears. But Peter recalls the mayor's courage to always do the right thing, and how he always stood by the trials and challenges of the 1984 Organizing Committee through everything, including our own Russian boycott on May 8th, 1984, and how he saw the games reestablished right here in this storied venue when the Chinese walked through that tunnel on July 28th on opening day. We all owe Tom Bradley a tremendous amount of gratitude. He helped ignite an Olympic flame that still endures nearly 35 years later. Because of the fiscal surplus from those '84 games, the LA '84 Foundation was born. I'm so proud to be chair of the board of directors of this foundation. And I'm proud to say Mayor Bradley was an original member of our board. The foundation focuses on youth development and getting kids to be life-ready through sport, where for nearly 35 years, we've had a positive impact on the lives of some 3.5 million Southern California kids. The mayor was committed to this mission. 2 summers ago, we were proud to help 2 other greats, Joan Benoit Samuelson and Anita France, be added to this very court of honor down there. And we are so proud to be here today to help recognize a man who means so much to us to be added to this same court. I would be remiss if I didn't put a plug in for another passion for the mayor that the mayor and I shared. During his tenure as mayor, after the games, I worked in ticketing for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I remember quite clearly that the mayor loved coming to Dodger games, and he loved sitting in seats on the field level, section 19, row A, seats 1 to 7. Am I right, Bradley family? Yeah. He was dedicated and a committed fan, as he was to all the things he loved and felt strongly about. Now, as I mentioned, I worked for the '84 Games, and it feels like such a homecoming to be back here today at the Coliseum with Mayor Bradley nearby and all of you. The Olympic credo is Citius, Altius, Fortius, swifter, higher, stronger. Tom Bradley embodied those traits when he was a college track teammate of Jackie Robinson. Mayor Bradley embodied those traits as he led this city and helped us establish a stronger presence on the global map. Congratulations to the Bradley family on this extraordinary honor. And yes, the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games are coming. Los Angeles is still the Olympic city. Thank you very much.
And another quick shout out to LA 84, which you may not know, but they also were instrumental in assisting the Coliseum Commission with actually digitizing the minutes of this great body that goes back to the 1930s. That was obviously a big task in and of itself. And also with LA 84, a huge partner, President and CEO Renata Simril, who is here. A round of applause, please. For those of you here today that were on Mayor Bradley's staff, could you just please stand if we can acknowledge you, former staff on his staff, colleagues and so forth. Please stand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course, among them, Judge Terry Hatter, thank you very much for being here. And a couple of former city councilmen, Bob Farrell also. And a man who is never shy, Honorable Tom LaBonge. Please step forward.
Give Al Nybo a big hand as he takes over the reins here. There's no better address in Los Angeles than 39th and Figueroa, because this great Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum has welcomed the world twice and will again. And I'm just so proud that I had a little time and I had a partnership with Mark Thomas from Manual Arts High, Tom LaBonge from John Marshall High, Olivia Mitchell, Mayor Bradley's Youth Development Quarter, 1974. All this relationship for all these years. I had a little time now, and I was reading every plaque here. And your father has a nice plaque there, John Ferraro, two-time All-American before and after the war. But there was no, I read Garland's, give him credit, because when he went to Antwerp in Belgium in 1920, he said, we want the Olympic Games. And those guys in Belgium said, where's Los Angeles? And then they said, build us a stadium, and we did. So when I saw that, I said, a civic leader of unmatchable success is Tom Bradley, and he belongs here. And that day, God has a way of working. I looked at everything, Anita, and then I walked over to the Natural History Museum. And there I see the distinguished walk of Mark Ridley-Thomas to his field office. And I stop and say to Mark, could you get a plaque at the Court of Honor for Tom Bradley? Make it happen, Tom, and we'll get it done. Boom. Give it all to Mark Ridley-Thomas, who did that here. Now, and the last thing, Phyllis and Lorraine, many images of your father I had working for John Ferraro. He used to call me, he said, Tom, there's a couch at 3rd and Beaudry. Get it picked up. He would come to my photo exhibits around town. He was always there. But the best vision that I saw of Mayor Bradley was in the closing game, 16 Days of Glory. And there they were on the south side. I got to go to 24 Olympic events, opening and closing. Before 9/11, we parked right there in John's big Buick, and walked in. But at closing, there was Mr. Bradley, and you have the Olympic flag. And let's give it up for Rayford Johnson, who started the Olympic flame right there. So he has the Olympic flag, and the mayor of Seoul, Korea is right there. And your dad did not want to give the flag away. He did not want to give it away, just like I don't want to give this mic away. God bless you all. God bless Tom Bradley.
I think that was probably a record time for Tom at the mic. We really appreciate that. Mayor Bradley, he loved this city. And this is a city that loved Mayor Bradley, and they loved his family. And we are fortunate to have his daughters here today, Lorraine and Phyllis, and they'd like to say a few words. Lorraine, please.
Oh, it's a great day. Absolutely great day. Thank you all for being here.
Absolutely.
We have a few acknowledgments. As they've said before, I have to give kudos to Mark Ridley-Thomas and Tom Lavange, who have been here through the entire process. Tom came to the house and said, Lorraine, you have a picture? Yeah, okay, Tom, and got me the picture. Then we just kept back and forth texting, and here it is. It's finally up, so thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge my immediate family, my cousins who are here. They please stand for me. Representing. And my extended family, please stand up. I couldn't do it without these friends and family. I have to tell you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Roz and I speak all the time because obviously we go to all the Dodger games, but I have to acknowledge the #1 Dodger fan, my mother, Ethel Bradley. We can't talk about the Dodgers unless we talk about Mom and the Dodgers, and that's just how it is. God bless her. She's up there watching down on us just like everybody else, so we thank you. When Tom called and talked about having this plaque, and I thought, well, it's about time. Because bottom line is, without Dad's vision, there would be no future Olympics. I mean, his vision of putting together an Olympic, doing it the way that they did, and having the great committee and pulling together community and sponsorships and everything, and nobody thought it could be done. His hardest task was convincing the Olympic Committee, who benefits since now. But the bottom line is, and him saying to them when they called and said, well, the city has to pay for it, and he said, well, then you can have it back because we're not paying for it. And they thought he wasn't serious. He went to John Ferraro and had a resolution all ready to go to bring to the city council to say, we're not doing it. They got back on the telephone and said, never mind, we'll let you do whatever you'd like to do. And there the history is written. The LA 84 committee and members who continued to spend the money wisely that was generated by the Olympics is fantastic. It's all about the kids, all about the younger generation, and they've done a fantastic job. So again, give them a big hand. But again, Phyllis and I want to thank all of you for coming. It's, as I said, it's an honor, long overdue. God bless everyone who responsible for making this possible, and we want everybody to enjoy Pinks. Thank you, Pinks, for making sure we didn't go hungry. But again, we don't know what else we can say about how terrific this whole thing is to be able to come here and see this and know that he's honored in this manner. Again, thank you very much.
All right. Well, I just want to, again, have a few more acknowledgments if we can here in closing. Again, a special thanks to Pinks for catering our event. As, again, I mentioned, another legend here as well here today. And, of course, LA Councilman, former Councilman Tom Lavange and his family for assistance with the program. And our Coliseum partner, the University of Southern California, for a great setup here today. A round of applause, please. And, of course, we'll all have a little bit of an opportunity here to take some pictures and join around the great plaque that we have here, fellowship and so forth. I will also remind that we also have a regular meeting of the Coliseum Commission that is going to convene at 2:30, and you are most welcome to attend. But if not, that's all right. Following, we would say that if you could, by that time, to make your way back through the exit of Gate 29. As you know, we still have a lot of construction going on here, so for your safety, we want to make sure that there are no problems. So after you had a chance to partake of the goodies there in the back, if you're not heading over to the commission, you can just make your way over there. And with that, I want to say thank you very much for coming here for the 63rd induction of Mayor Tom Bradley's plaque. All right, and you'll have an opportunity. We're going to take some pictures of some of the family first, but let me do that if I can. Short and sweet, but I think it says it all. Here on the plaque it says, Thomas Tom Bradley, 1917 to 1998, emblazoned with the symbol of the city of Los Angeles, Mayor of Los Angeles, champion of the 1984 Olympic Games. He welcomed the world. No one has done so much for so many while serving the city of Los Angeles. Thank you for coming. Enjoy.